That night, after my husband got drunk, I ended up pregnant with quadruplets. I cherished these children deeply, so I quit my job as an online content monitor to rest at home. Every night, I suffered from pregnancy-related nausea. Later, at the dinner table, he used sign language to communicate with 4 men. Declan glanced at me, gesturing with his hands. A woman with wide hips is really fertile. Just one night is enough to get her pregnant with children from 4 different men. According to the bet, each of you owes me 5 million. The 4 men clicked their tongues. To get money for your first Love treatment, you really went all out, didn't you? Aren't you afraid she'll find out you tricked her? Declan looked at me with eyes full of hatred. She's too dumb to understand sign language. Besides, if she hadn't turned a blind eye and let those nude photos of Cora pass, would Cora have attempted suicide and ended up in a coma? I'd do anything to cure Cora. It turns out, none of the 4 kids were his. But he didn't know that I used to be a sign language researcher, and I understood their conversation. I was heartbroken and agreed to the doctor's advice for an abortion. 1. This is just the beginning. Harper is vicious and heartless. She owes us, and I'll make her pay back, one by one. At the dinner table, Declan put down his wine glass and smirked. His eyes burned with a cold fire, as if wanting to devour me. You were devoted to Cora, seeing her as a bright moon, yet she ended up like this. The man using sign language sighed deeply, looking regretful. It's all Harper's fault. If she hadn't schemed to marry me, I wouldn't even glance at her. She separated me from my love and turned my love into a coma patient. I'll settle these scores with her slowly. Declan glared at me, furious. Knowing the truth made my skin crawl. I felt crushed, as if a heavy weight pressed down on me. Years ago, I loved him deeply, vowing to win him over. Declan didn't love me, but I had secretly loved him for a long time. When he was drugged, I ignored his anger and approached him. In the dim light, he cursed me, yet pushed me down roughly. After marriage, I was truly devoted to him. I thought he truly loved me. But I never expected I could never warm his heart. After saying these things, the men began to use sign language to mock the night they humiliated me. That night we got your wife drunk was such a thrill. We went at it several times, trying 100 different positions, to make her have 4 kids. When she delivers, you secretly take the baby to us, only then will you get the 5 million. But aren't you afraid that if she finds out the truth, she'll turn against you? Declan remained expressionless, his tone light. So what if she knows? She loves me to death. No matter how mad she gets, just throw her a bone and she'll come crawling back. In an unnoticed corner, a tear fell. Relying on my affection, Declan could say such sarcastic things about me. These past months of pregnancy, I talked to our children every night while caressing my belly. Even though I experienced morning sickness every night and my belly grew as big as a watermelon, with life-threatening risks, I insisted on keeping these children, not agreeing to the doctor's advice for an abortion. After hearing their sign language conversation, I was heartbroken. Declan blamed me for releasing Phoebe's nude photos at work, causing her to become a coma patient. But the person who approved it for me that day was a colleague who had already resigned. I didn't know about it, nor did I know he hated me so much for it. In the middle of the night, I clung to the cold sink, retching, while Declan slept soundly. When the fetus moved, it felt like my uterus was being punched hard, making my lower back ache. Thinking about the origin of the child in my belly, the immense shame was overwhelming. I shakily dialed the doctor's number and agreed to the doctor's advice. Just as I was about to head to the hospital, Declan suddenly woke up. He stood at the bedroom door, glaring at me sinisterly. He still reeked of alcohol. Going out in the middle of the night? He looked down at me, his gaze dangerous and distant behind his glasses. He had beautiful, alluring eyes. When he looked down, they appeared gentle and tender. But now those eyes were filled with disdain for me. Such a depraved woman, Harper. Who would be thought you'd still want to mess around while pregnant, satisfying others' peculiar tastes? Does it really feel that good? Truly cheap to the core. I looked incredulously at the man who had slept beside me for 5 years, my eyes reddening. The affection he once showed for me was completely gone, replaced by indifference. I didn't want to get entangled with him, I just wanted to leave quickly. But he grabbed my hair, slamming my head against the doorframe. You depraved woman, you used these tricks to marry me, now who are you trying to seduce? Declan pressed my head against the post. Blood flowed from my forehead, blurring my vision. Everything went black as I fell hard to the ground. Before closing my eyes, I saw a flicker of panic on Declan's face. In the hospital, even though my consciousness was fuzzy, I could still hear the doctor and Declan's conversation. Mr. Declan, are you sure you want to proceed with the plan to preserve Ms. Harper's pregnancy? The surgery is very risky. The children might compete for nutrients with the mother, and Ms. Harper might end up paralyzed. Paralyzed or not, the children in her belly are important, they can save Cora's life. The doctor wiped his sweat. Last time during the prenatal checkup, I saw her eyes were full of you. Is it really worth it to hurt your wife for another woman? Declan, now sober, spoke calmly. Cora is the love of my life. She has a bright future, and I have to help her. As for Harper, once she is awake, I'll take good care of her. Over the years, I had to admit, the young man I secretly loved through my whole youth was actually a complete scoundrel. I never thought the love I begged for would be my death sentence. Silent tears fell as I struggled to open my eyes but was sedated with anesthesia. 2. After the surgery, I indeed bore the risk of the preservation plan and ended up paralyzed. I sat in a wheelchair, my legs numb. Declan knelt down, trying to comfort me. It's my fault, Harper, I shouldn't have hurt you after drinking that night. Didn't you always want to see the sea? Once you give birth, I'll take you to Miami for a vacation. You must be good and have our children. He hugged me tightly. Our chests pressed together, yet our heartbeats were out of sync. He liked to pretend to be deep, and I didn't bother to expose him. For Phoebe, he could switch back and forth, to such an extent. I looked at the wedding photo on the bedside. In the photo, we embraced tightly, looking like a real couple. Declan kissed my lips, urging me to rest well. After I closed my eyes, he took Phoebe's photo into the bedroom. Through the gap, I saw him pressing the girl's photo against his burning desire, voice low and deep. Phoebe, I really miss you, but I can't bear to touch you. Phoebe, don't mind what happened with Harper, she's just like a freebie, offering herself, I don't feel anything for her. But Phoebe, you're so cute and pure, the bright moon in my heart, I'm afraid of making you cry with just a kiss, I could never harm you. After he released his last bit of desire, he looked at the photo, speaking tenderly. Don't worry, once I get the money and cure you, we can be together. Declan's words felt like an invisible slap on my face. I froze, my mind blank. So, he gave me his body, but gave Phoebe his heart. He could even harm me for Phoebe, ruin me. He saw the girl as a distant, untouchable first love. But what about me? What am I? My fists clenched and unclenched, my teeth grinding. Whenever his desire flared up, I was tortured by him, night after night. As my thoughts returned, my heart ached, I could barely breathe. But I couldn't let him succeed. Taking advantage of his absence, I once again found someone to take me to the hospital. This time, I finally managed to abort the 4 children. When Declan found out I had aborted the kids, he rushed to the hospital like a madman. He didn't care about my weak body, lifting me up and gripping my neck viciously. Harper, how could you be so heartless? You harmed Phoebe, and now you even want to hurt our kids, you're not human. And what about you? Even now, you're still trying to deceive me? I struggled to breathe as I spoke. Upon hearing this, his face turned white and red. He paused, then angrily retorted. Harper, what did I lie to you about? He furrowed his brows, his eyes reddened. As if he was the biggest victim. I scoffed coldly, staring at him intently. Declan, I know sign language. 3. With my revelation, Declan stopped pretending. To raise money for Phoebe, he took nude photos of me while I was sleeping. The man uploaded these photos online, selling them at a high price. Soon, my photos spread wildly on the internet. Everyone thought I was a depraved woman. My parents, working out of town, were so angered by the news they ended up in the hospital. Even my workplace, upon finding out, fired me. While running errands on the street, I felt the stares. Isn't she the one in those photos? So depraved. I have more photos here, $5 each. I couldn't stand it anymore and finally called the police. Declan stopped pretending after I exposed him. To raise money for Phoebe, he took nude photos of me while I was asleep and sold them online for a high price. Soon, my photos were spreading wildly across the internet. Everyone thought I was a slut. When my parents, who were working far away, learned about it, they were so angry they ended up in the hospital. Even my workplace fired me after finding out. When I walked down the street, I was met with strange looks. Isn't she the one in those photos? So shameless. I have more photos here, $5 each. I couldn't stand it anymore and finally called the police. The police handled the situation appropriately. In the end, Declan managed to gather enough money to cure his first love. I decided to leave and go somewhere where no one knows me. I wheeled myself back to the room, quickly packed my things, and took out the divorce agreement I had prepared. When I handed the agreement to Declan, he was a bit stunned. Divorce? Harper, why are you being so unreasonable? Lately, he frequently visited the hospital where Phoebe was and often didn't come home at night. I stared at the ambiguous red marks on his neck, trying to suppress the bitterness in my heart. Let's divorce. I'll let you be with Phoebe. Harper, are you sure you want a divorce? Who else would want a cripple like you after we're divorced? He said in a deep voice, almost growling. Harper, don't forget, you were the one who crawled into my bed and forced me to marry you. If it weren't for you, I could have been happy with Cora a long time ago. Now, I'm just catching up with her. Why are you so bothered? Get it straight, you ruined the happiness between me and her. His voice was full of regret for love lost. I forced a smile. Yes, so now I'm letting you both be together. The man, pressed by my persistence, frowned deeply. Harper, you're really hopeless. In the end, our deadlock ended with a deafening door slam. He never signed the divorce agreement. 4. In the middle of the night, I was sleeping soundly when I suddenly felt a chill. I opened my eyes to see Declan staring at me intently. He probably drank a lot, the overwhelming smell of alcohol was irritating. I noticed his slightly disheveled hair and reddened eyes. Harper. Cora's condition has relapsed. Just one visit to the arena could save her. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. Declan, do you still have a conscience? I'm already crippled, and you want my life? Before going to sleep, I heard Declan on the phone. On the other end, a mocking voice said. As long as you let that cripple into the arena, I'll give you 10 million. You know, many rich people want to see this show. We'll definitely make a lot of money. Lost in thought, tears streamed down Declan's face as he knelt in front of me. I'm sorry, forgive my selfishness, I have to cure Cora. I suddenly put on a cold face, letting out a low laugh from deep in my throat. No, I won't do it. He wiped his tears, and upon hearing my refusal, his expression changed instantly. He stared at me despicably, almost ordering with his tone. Harper, you have no choice. You harmed Cora, this is all your debt to repay. I suddenly panicked. While I was off guard, he used sedatives to cover my mouth and nose. When I woke up, I was already thrown into the beast arena. The circular cage, made of iron bars, reeked of a metallic smell. Looking through the bars, I saw the well-dressed rich people around. They held delicate wine glasses, gently swirling them. When they made eye contact with me, they wore an amused smile. Today will be a good show. I hear the main character is the wife of a cuckold. And the highlight is, this fight was arranged by the cuckold for his lover. Laughter surrounded me. I panted heavily, watching my surroundings warily. Suddenly, I saw Declan on the platform. His expression was unreadable. I couldn't tell what he was feeling. "Your wife is about to be torn into pieces by beasts, don't you feel sorry?" On the platform, Declan glanced at me with disdain. "I'll do anything for Cora. And she's in this mess because of her own sins." My eyes stung, but I couldn't cry anymore. I knew my situation was dangerous at this moment. With a gunshot, several large, muscular tigers and leopards were released into the cage. Before I could react, a tiger knocked me to the ground. Pain shot through me, seeing stars, as I instinctively reached for my forehead. My hand was sticky, obviously bleeding. Declan on the platform seemed stunned for a moment. But soon, he regained his composure, sneering coldly at me. "Fight it, don't let everyone down." To survive, I had to fight the beasts with all my strength. There were gasps from the platform. "This is the price of marrying the wrong man." My body and mind hurt. Hurting so much I couldn't breathe. "Release 2 more beasts." The rich people's eyes sparkled with excitement, seemingly eager for a more bloody scene. I don't remember how this farce ended. Just before I passed out, I heard Declan's voice from the stands, his eyes red. He shook the lead man beside him vigorously. "Bro, if this goes on, she might die. Let's not cause a death." In the end, a young-looking man saved me. Everyone respectfully called him Mr. Six. Looking at him, I felt he looked familiar. In the weak light, I felt dizzy and fell heavily. Before closing my eyes, I heard many sounds. There were noisy voices, ambulance sirens, and Declan calling out to me. Before Declan could reach me, a stranger picked me up and took me away from the scene. 5. Since I was rescued, Declan never saw me again. He finally got a lot of money and saved Phoebe. But Phoebe decisively abandoned him and got together with someone else. My colleagues also clarified the situation about me supposedly leaking Phoebe's photos. Declan returned home in despair, coming to my room. He trembled as he approached the table, picking up my things, gently caressing them. He found a yellowed photo in the desk, touching my face in the photo, tears welled up in his eyes. "This photo," he took it. When he flipped through my notebook, he realized I had known the truth all along. The notebook was filled with my hatred. The man I loved for 5 years conspired with others to humiliate me. It hurt so much, he probably never loved me. I hate him so much. But flipping back, it was all about my love for him. "Today is the Mid-Autumn Festival," Declan said. "Fruit-flavored mooncakes are delicious, I can make them for him." March 2nd, he was terribly drunk, I felt so sorry for him. Declan is a good person, he helped me over and over. I think, no matter what happens in the future, I won't regret meeting him. Reading this, his tears soaked the paper. He never imagined that my evaluation of him in my heart was so high. Compared to Phoebe, I was the one who truly loved him the most. So, when Declan was drunk, nostalgia overwhelmed him. Before, whenever he got drunk, I would prepare hangover soup for him and take care of him around the clock. But now, he was the only lonely figure at home. Using all his strength, he dialed my number, only to find it was disconnected. He frantically searched for me on social media, only to discover he had long been blocked by me. Now, he finally realized I had the courage to leave him. A tear rolled down his cheek. He murmured to himself. "I'm sorry, I misunderstood you, I hurt you. Harper, come back." 3 years later, Gideon healed my legs. That day, forced to fight beasts, he was the one who saved me. The man was a mob boss, highly respected in the business world. He helped me a lot, but the condition was for me to be his wife for life. Spending a few days with him wasn't too hard. I just had to dress up beautifully and attend galas. Every moment, I could feel him watching me. At night, when sleeping, he would signal for me to share the same bed with him. "Mr. Six, isn't this inappropriate?" He pulled me back onto the bed, teasing. "We're having our wedding next week, you and I are a legal couple, what's inappropriate about that? I stopped resisting because I knew he couldn't have helped me for no reason. Any demand comes with a price. I just didn't expect that day to come so quickly. I realized saying things like being independent and relying on oneself was really foolish. I should learn to use external forces to empower myself. I want to establish a fashion company. Only by holding money in my own hands will I feel secure. He pushed me to the edge of the bed, pinning me under the covers. His hot, urgent kisses fell, which I dodged by turning my head, burying them in my hair. At the last moment, Gideon still didn't take the final step. Looking at his face, he always felt so familiar to me. In the middle of the night, half awake, I always felt something hard pressing against my thigh. 4. Afterward, Gideon provided me with the best resources, allowing me to appear in the business world. I should learn to harness external influences to empower myself. I want to start a fashion company because having financial control will give me peace of mind. A man pushed me to the edge of the bed, pinning me down. His kisses came hot and urgent, but I turned my head, letting my hair shield me from them. At the last moment, Gideon refrained from going further. Looking at his face, I felt an intense sense of familiarity. In the middle of the night, half awake, I constantly sensed something hard pressing against my thigh. 4. Afterward, Gideon offered me his best resources and introduced me to the business world. He invested heavily in my newly launched company. At night, while I worked on designs under the lamp, he would massage my shoulders and legs, always attentive to my mood, fearing I might become irritable. He waited from 10 p.m. until midnight. Only when I prepared to go to bed would he finally rest. His handsome features seemed to glow with a luster. Whatever you want to do, I will support you. Just like when we were kids, you supported me no matter the reason. I was a bit bewildered. Do we know each other? Memories flooded back to me. But they were fragmented, and I couldn't piece them together. After a moment of daze, Gideon led me into a pre-arranged Hello Kitty room. The room was filled with pink decorations. My eyes sparkled with wonder. How did you know I love pink? Before he could answer, I was already busy exploring the other rooms. Hey, don't go into that room on the right. The more he insisted I stay out, the more curious I became. I pushed the door open and was stunned. All 4 walls were covered with photos of me, some in profile, others facing forward. Some were from my childhood, others recent. Judging by the angles, they must have been taken secretly. I frowned, feeling puzzled. Could it be that Gideon knew me already? Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a notebook on the desk. I walked over, flipping through it, and saw the words inside. Harper praised me. She seems very encouraging about me becoming a businessman. The date was from 15 years ago. I can't think of Harper at night, or I'll have to wash my underwear again. Time seemed to pause at that moment, and I felt transported back to my childhood. Under the willow tree sat a pensive boy. I handed him a lollipop and sweetly comforted him. Mom says if you're in a bad mood, eat candy. It'll make you happy. The boy took the lollipop and started sharing his troubles. I want to be a businessman, but my dad insists I study medicine. I stood up, awkwardly patting his shoulder. It's okay, I support you. Do whatever you want. You will succeed. That must be why he remembered me for so long. My thoughts returned to the present. I finally remembered the man in front of me. Suddenly, a bit of sweetness touched my lips. A strawberry-flavored cupcake, you might like it. Opening my eyes, a delicate cupcake came into view. Theo awkwardly rubbed his brow, looking a bit uneasy. Don't you like it? Coming back to my senses, I smiled in response. I love it. I scooped a piece with a spoon, the cream melting on my tongue, the sweetness filling my taste buds. The man crouched in front of me, like a loyal dog ready to protect. How is it, delicious? I sniffed, delicious. That night, we talked endlessly about everything under the sun until deep into the night, when we finally fell asleep in each other's arms. 5. I heard that after losing me, Declan became utterly despondent. Consumed by longing, he thought for a long time and finally set out to find me. He stared at my photos, swearing he would win me back. I saw him again in a cafe. After so long, he no longer had the vibrant spirit he once did. "Harper, I've been looking for you for so long." I looked at his face and couldn't help but find it amusing. Sipping my coffee, I slowly spoke. "We're already divorced, let's each live well." While he was asleep, I secretly pressed his fingerprint on the divorce agreement. I picked up my bag, ready to leave, but he grabbed me. "Harper, your leg?" I tugged at the corner of my mouth. "It's healed, along with my love for you." The once imposing eyebrows of the man had now slightly drooped. "I don't believe it, you loved me the most, you can't lie about that." His eyes flickered with an obsessive light, showing a twisted smile filled with obsession and madness. "Harper, you recorded my preferences in your notes, your album is full of my photos, you even carved a ring for me. I don't believe you don't love me. Admit you still love me, won't you? Stop being angry. I admit I misunderstood you before and hurt you. But I've learned from my mistakes, give me a chance to make it up to you, okay? Memories embedded in my heart, dense and numerous. Love is like holding a torch against the wind, burning and sorrowful. Especially since, to me, Declan is like a broken lamp that should flicker out with a breeze." Faced with his pleading, I felt no emotions. "Sorry, I have something to do." I avoided him and walked out. At this moment, Gideon's Rolls-Royce arrived to pick me up. He slowly rolled down the window and called my name. Seeing me walk over, he got out to welcome me into the car. As the car started, Declan spread his arms, blocking the front. "What's so good about him?" the man frowned and asked. I laughed. "He's better than you in every way. And he's richer than you." Sitting in Gideon's car, I could see Declan's eyes rapidly change from shock to unwillingness, then to sadness. "Harper, you betrayed me for money." I calmly replied to him. "And you? You'd do anything for money too." He was speechless. In the past, he always thought he could have me, believing I was a loyal dog by his side that he couldn't drive away. So, he trampled on my sincerity, never treating me like a person. But today, he never expected I would agree to be with someone else. He wouldn't give up, walking over to the passenger side, shouting, "We haven't finished our conversation, how can you leave?" "Harper, I really regret it, I shouldn't have hurt you because of Phoebe. After you left, I keep recalling fragmented memories related to you. These bits and pieces are like torture to me. Without you, I really can't go on." I ignored him, only urging Gideon to speed up. Gradually, Gideon and I got closer, our relationship growing stronger. 6. On the day of the wedding, the melodious wedding march echoed throughout the hall. I wore a floor-length white wedding dress, arm in arm with Gideon beside me. He wore a sleek black suit, a hint of joy in his eyes. "Madam, please take care of me from now on." Just then, the doors of the hall burst open, and a figure stood panting at the entrance. Guests turned their heads, and there was Declan, also dressed formally, holding flowers. His hair was messy, his shirt buttons undone, clearly having rushed here. He fixed his gaze on me, his voice urgent. "Harper, don't marry him, the one you love is me, have you forgotten?" The scene erupted in whispers, guests exchanged surprised glances. Gideon frowned slightly, instinctively shielding me. "No, I stopped loving you long ago, all I have for you is hate." My voice was calm but carried an undeniable firmness. The man's eyes reddened. "Harper, I do love you, I just couldn't admit it. Until I lost you." Undeterred, Declan still wouldn't give up. He brought out a shell I had given him long ago. Facing the spring breeze, he slowly walked toward me. As he got closer, he gently opened his palm, revealing the delicate shell lying there. The shell's patterns shimmered in the sunlight, particularly dazzling. "Harper, look. This is the shell you gave me, I didn't throw it away, I've always kept it with me." I was momentarily stunned, then my brow furrowed slightly. Without hesitation, I raised my hand and knocked the shell away. The shell traced an arc through the air, then with a pop, it fell to the ground, kicking up a small cloud of dust. Now it's broken, and so should our past, I said, lowering my eyes. The smile on the man's face froze instantly. He stared blankly at the discarded shell on the ground, his lips trembling slightly, his voice small. You forced me to do this. I didn't hear him, just took a deep breath and slowly said. Too little, too late. Leave, Declan, I won't agree to be with you. When you pushed me to someone else, I started hating you. Declan's body shook, as if struck by the words. The man's expression seemed lost. Suddenly, he pulled out a ring. Harper, you once crafted a ring for me, and I didn't cherish it back then. Now, I've cut off one of my fingers and made a ring from the bone for you. Can you forgive the foolish things I've done? In his palm lay a ring made from his finger bone, the bone polished smooth, still with traces of blood. I was startled, a wave of nausea rising in my stomach. The man's face bore a gentle yet crazed smile. Declan's body swayed as if those words had struck a deep chord within him. His expression seemed distant. Suddenly, he took out a trembling ring. Harper, you once polished a ring for me, and I didn't appreciate it then. Now, I've cut off one of my own fingers and made a ring for you from the bone joint. Can you forgive the foolish things I did? A ring crafted from his finger bone lay quietly in his palm, polished smooth, with faint traces of blood still on it. I was taken aback, a wave of nausea washing over me. The man wore a gentle yet insane smile. Wear it, and we will be bound together for eternity. I was stunned, unable to comprehend his intentions. He held my hand tightly, his eyes bright, his tone sincere. Harper, didn't you want me to love you? I've fallen for you now. Will you come back to me? I stared at the ring, my body trembling uncontrollably. I shook my head, refusing him. The man's eyes dimmed as he slowly walked away. 7. Every day after that, in his attempts to win me back, he sent me strange pieces of jewelry. Wherever I went, he followed. It felt like we had returned to 5 years ago. Back then, he was just like this, seemingly full of me, yet also devoid of me. His sincerity was mixed with lies and deceit. He spoke with deep affection, claiming he would change my mind. I let out a sarcastic laugh. In your dreams. Gradually, my career thrived, but I never expected to be kidnapped on my way to and from work. The person who kidnapped me was none other than Declan, who had been lurking around my house for days. I thought he would give up on winning me back, but I didn't expect he was planning something drastic. In the dim, damp abandoned factory, the roar of machines couldn't drown out my terrified whimpers. A man with a crazed expression appeared before me. Harper, you're getting more beautiful. I really like you, but why won't you even look at me? Why did you throw away the ring I gave you? As he spoke, he tried to approach me. I wanted to run, but a sudden arm from the corner blocked my way. The smell of smoke and alcohol mixed with cologne hit me. Harper, we haven't tried this place yet, have we? You would have been thrilled before, right? Harper, why? I've fallen in love with you, but you want to leave me? He played with a lighter, the flame highlighting the wrinkles around his eyes. My back pressed against the cold white wall. My whole body trembled uncontrollably. His large hand slid down my waist, and I wanted to resist, but it was futile. You can't do this. If Gideon finds out, he won't let you go. The man laughed cheerfully. Let's see if he'll come to save you. His eyes were filled with direct yet suppressed desire. I curled up in the corner, biting my lip until it turned white. My cries were drowned out by the men's unrestrained laughter. In the unnoticed corner, a tear slid down my cheek. Just then, the door was kicked open with a bang, and Gideon's figure appeared at the entrance. The man wore a black shirt, and the custom cufflinks on his sleeves glinted coldly. His eyes were icy as he fought with Declan, not noticing the man's iron rod. With a thud, the rod struck his leg heavily, causing him to stagger forward. Harper, hang in there, I'll save you. He endured the intense pain, got up from the ground, and fought Declan again. 8. Because he saved me, Gideon ended up in the ICU. Looking at him, pale as paper, with bloodless lips, my heart remained calm as water. I didn't know when, but he woke up. Harper. I'm glad you're okay. He struggled to sit up, but weak and in pain, he couldn't. Seeing him suffer, my nose tingled, and tears streamed down my face. Gideon, thank you for showing up, I said, lightly kissing his lips. Thank you for loving me. After Gideon recovered, the police also arrested Declan. However, Declan didn't have long to live. He had a hereditary disease and only a month left. He begged me to visit him one last time. The rhythmic beep of the heart monitor echoed in the hospital room. He lay curled in the white sheets, his pale hair sticking with cold sweat. Seeing me, he was somewhat delighted, calling my name. Harper. The transparent liquid in the 4 tube slowly dripped down, reflecting the sharp contours of his wrist. A cough hit, and I watched his thin back heave violently, a broken whimper escaping his throat. Declan, you're facing the consequences. My nails dug deep into my palm, and recalling those unbearable past events filled me with hatred. Harper, I'm about to die, can you stay with me? Forgive me just this once, please? My tone was indifferent. That's impossible, Declan. I really won't forgive you, I said, ready to leave, but he grabbed me. Harper, so this is what pain feels like. I was really wrong. I shouldn't have been such a bastard. I shouldn't have had someone ruin you. His voice was tearful, broken and hoarse. I know I was wrong before, you can pay me back double, but please don't ignore me, okay? Without you, I really can't live. Can you forgive me once for the sake of our 5 years of marriage? I took a deep breath, letting out an almost inaudible sigh. Take care of yourself, I said, turning to leave. Behind me, his roar echoed. No, Harper, you can't be this cruel. The man lost control, pounding the hospital bed with both hands. We've been together for 5 years, you can't heartlessly abandon me. After closing the door, I exhaled deeply. No news from Declan reached my ears again. I heard he died on the hospital bed, with no one arranging his funeral. Phoebe died from domestic violence after marrying the wrong person. Later, Gideon once again expressed his feelings to me. Near sunset, he stood before me, holding flowers. The setting sun's glow bathed his profile, casting a faint blush. Harper, I really like you, and this feeling will never change. I could hear his voice tremble a bit. He continued. I know, because of someone, you might have lost faith in love, but I'm not him. I have my principles and limits. Can you trust me once and be with me? In that moment, my heartbeat suddenly quickened. Looking at his handsome features, memories of these days with him flooded back. He stayed by my side, helping me recover. My thoughts returned, and I opened my mouth, my throat tightening. Okay, I promise you.